So as content creators, why Nostr? Well, because it's the only protocol, and in its current use case, being social media, where you cannot get deplatformed or censored. And whether it be TikTok or Twitter, we are seeing a lot of that lately. And when it comes to getting out really relevant information in protecting free speech, Nostr is sort of the only way we can do that right now.
Yeah, and it has a huge number of implications. Right now we're seeing it for social media, but there's all sorts of things that can be done on top of this, from any sort of micro app you can imagine. Anything that involves the need for some sort of censorship-resistant publishing, that's what Nostr can enable. And so that's a hugely powerful thing. Exactly.
Correct, because there is no centralized authority or centralized server farm that has the authority or the even technical ability to censor or to remove or to deplatform someone. It's distributed, just similar to Bitcoin.
Yeah, I like to think of both Nostr and Bitcoin as like a hydra from Greek mythology. It's like you can chop off one head, but another just grows in its place, and then another. It's not something, there's no single throat to choke, no single point of failure. Nostr has no CEO, Bitcoin has no CEO. It's just a lot of people freely organizing.
You can shut down the internet. I mean, you can try to shut down a specific instance or a relay. You can try to attack various clients and ways to access the protocol, but the protocol itself is basically untouchable. Well, with traditional advertising, specifically on social media networks, as we all know, you are the product. They are buying your eyeballs. It's free for the consumer because they're being bombarded constantly, sapped of their mental energy, incentivized to keep consuming, and then wondering why everyone's in debt.
Yeah, it's a really just broken model, I think. And it's one where the individual users are completely cut out of any sort of revenue stream.
Yep.
Sure, maybe you're a podcaster or a YouTuber, you can get individual sponsors on your podcast or YouTube channel, whatever. You can read their advertisement at the beginning of it, and that's all fine. But for a lot of people, that's not necessarily an option. And for the average user of any social media platform, not protocol like Nostr, but platform, there's no value coming back to you. Yes, you're getting a product that you can use for free, but what? It's a product that uses an algorithm that shows you posts that make you angry. It's a platform.
Takes your data that can potentially be leaked.
Steals your data, and we all know no data on a centralized company is really secure. The leaks happen all the time.
Yep.
And your eyeballs are just used to, they're just selling clicks and selling eyeballs to advertisers to the highest bidder. And so that's just not a system where the average user is in any way taken care of.
And the user before really never had any tools to try to fight that or to do it in a different way, and that's where Nostr's ability to send value directly and cut out middlemen is really where the Zapvertising idea came from. Because it's not that advertising is inherently bad, right? But the way that it's been done and bastardized, if you will.
And I think that's the point. We've all seen advertisements probably that we clicked on, and maybe we actually
bought a
useful product, something that actually aligned with it. That's definitely the exception rather than the rule. And so, as Carla said, advertising itself is not inherently bad, but the way that we are advertised to, the incentive structure behind it, the model behind it, is what is so just incredibly broken. So with the Lightning Network, you have the ability to send Bitcoin, the hardest form of money ever discovered, at the speed of light. Nostr, as you said earlier, these are separate protocols, but a lot of Bitcoiners were building on Nostr, and so integrated Bitcoin at basically, at a protocol level to be able to say, okay, this is one of our new Nostr improvement proposals. We're going to add zaps. So that's the ability to say, instead of tapping a like on a post, which doesn't have any value attached to it, anybody can spoof that like, bots can spoof it. You actually have to send a few Satoshis, and as many or as few as you want, to that person. And instead of being this meaningless metric, which is likes, again, bot farms can generate likes. But if you want to have a bot farm that generates zaps, well, it's going to cost you a lot of money because there's always value attached to it. So it's giving you a much more real understanding of how valuable do people actually find this content. Is it just that this particular influencer bought a bunch of bots to come and boost their post? Or are these actual people who are saying, I'm going to take a few of my hard-earned sats and I'm going to say, I like this so much that I want to send you value. And that's a really powerful thing. That's where it's just completely different from Twitter. And the way Zapvertising really taps into this is saying, okay, now we have a way for companies or for creators like Carla who say, I want to get my video out in front of Jack Dorsey. I can go ahead and zap him with the video link. I have a way to get that right in front of him, but attach value to it, because all of our time is precious, right? It's scarce.
And
like
vice
Bitcoin.
versa, if I have a video that's getting very viral on Twitter, there's always ads on viral tweets, but I don't get a cut of any of that, even though they're showing it on my hard work. On Nostr, I have a viral video, those companies that want to show ads on that video, I'm getting that value directly. I'm getting the stats, and that's huge for a creator, because it's really, likes are meaningless. A million views, 10,000 likes. I mean, at the end of the day, that's $0 in the bank.
It's pretty simple. So when you zap somebody on Nostr, different Nostr clients may show this differently, but I'll just give the example of Damus, which is the iOS app that we use. So on Damus, when I send a zap to somebody, I zap Carla in one of her videos. You're welcome. I can also include a link in that. I can include an image in that. I can include anything that I want, any sort of actual data in that zap as well. It doesn't have to be just the zap. But when I do that, it is sending, first of all, her value directly. Now, let's say I zap with 10,000 sats, you may have a bunch of other people that zap that post as well. If I'm the highest one who has zapped that post, highest amount of Satoshis that have zapped that post, in the zap list, which is separate, you can see, who's reposted it, who's liked it, or you can turn off likes entirely and only see zaps. That's a new model. But you can go into the zap list and see, okay, that's the person at the top of the list. So if you're a company, you want to feature highly on Carla's really viral post on Nostr, well, you're going to have to send her some Satoshis. And so she's getting value. You're getting value as the advertiser, because you're getting your message out.
You're getting visibility.
Yeah, getting visibility. And right now, for Bitcoin companies especially, yeah, there are a lot of Bitcoiners on Nostr. There's a lot of other people on Nostr too that maybe aren't using Bitcoin. A lot of people getting orange pilled to Bitcoin through Nostr.
Yep.
But the reality is that right now, it's a lot of Bitcoiners. So if you're a Bitcoin company, you want to get your message out in front of a dedicated audience of Bitcoiners, not just because Twitter says, yeah, these people search the hashtag Bitcoin a lot, so you should advertise them. No, you can go directly to this source of highly motivated, highly engaged people who love Bitcoin, love the future that it represents, and who are on Nostr. We then saw Blockstream doing the same Zapvertising thing. And now I just heard somebody say today, like, I went out and bought a Blockstream Jade because I saw that they were zapping people. Actually getting conversions. And not to mention that, but as a company, putting your money where your mouth is, as a Bitcoin company, you should do that too. People see, wow, XYZ Bitcoin company is
giving back.
Yeah, giving back sats to creators, to developers as well.
And that's cool to see.
Yeah, it's great.
And as a creator, it's not necessarily a one-off, like let's say companies get into like a little war to try to get the top position, like maybe they did 10,000, but then another company did 15,000. Only the company number one's like, well, I still want to be on top, so I'm going to zap that creator again 20,000 to get on top. And the creator is still taking in that dough, because that post is visibility. That creator created value, and they're finally getting something back while the two other companies dole it out.
Yeah, and the beauty of this is that if you think about how big marketing budgets are, like how much it costs to run an ads through an ad agency, or even yourself with a pay-per-click campaign, it's crazy expensive, and your conversion rate is super low. But if you're a Bitcoin company who's looking to really make your money go a long ways, you're a startup. Maybe you're even an NGO who's trying to get your geyser page a lot of visibility. Zap that link with just a few sats, and I bet you'll have a lot better success than trying to promote it elsewhere.
You get engagement without algorithms.
Exactly. Value is the new algorithm, and well, at least on Nostr it is.